Goal setting can seem very straightforward. You want something, and you decide to make that want a goal, and you try to get it. Sounds good, right? Well, it's a good start, but it's really vague. There are no specifications, no guidelines to it, no indication of when you want to start and when you want to finish the goal. This is where SMART goals come in. SMART is an acronym, and each letter stands for a word that will help you clearly define what you want in a way that you will be able to achieve it. So when you follow this outline, you design your goal in a way that includes the details surrounding how you intend to reach it. The first letter of SMART is an S, which stands for specific. Making it your goal to become rich is incredibly vague. It might be an accurate expression of what you want, but when you're forming a goal, it's important to be very specific. Without details, you can feel lost on a mission, jumping from idea to idea and trying to find what you want. Narrowing it down gives you a direction and a clear path to focus on. Your first step is to decide exactly what you want. Consider the basic desire that you have and ask yourself some questions to help get more specific. What exactly do you want? How do you want to achieve it? Where? With whom? You may even want to ask yourself why you want these things. These questions will take you from I want to be rich all the way to I want to make $100,000 per year by working as a lawyer in the big firm downtown. Having these details included means that you'll not only have a clear end, but an idea of how you're going to get there. The second letter in SMART is M, which stands for measurable. The goal you set should have a measurable aspect to it, so something that you'll know for sure you hit and how you'll be able to get closer to it. Without this, you could be working towards what you want for months or years or the entire rest of your life and never know exactly how far along in the process you are. Maybe your goal is to be a successful artist, but what does that mean to you? How do you know when you're successful? Include an achievement in the goal that you can measure objectively, something that stands as a clear finish line marking the completion of your goal. It could be to sell 300 prints or to hit 100,000 followers on Instagram. There's no maybe when numbers are involved. Numbers help, and you'll know either when you hit these goals or when you don't. The third letter in SMART is an A, which stands for attainable. Even if you've got huge dreams, a dose of realism can be helpful when defining your goals. Consider your starting point, your skills and talents, and whether or not you have the time and funds to actually achieve the goal. Now, I don't want you guys to misunderstand. You should have huge dreams. If your dreams mean a lot to you, you can still go after what you truly want. But your goals, you may want to consider making some alterations to make it more attainable and set smaller goals so that you feel confident in reaching your larger goals. If you've decided you want to be a world-famous journalist, ask yourself if that's something that you can really attain. What are your writing skills like? Do you have experience or connections in journalism? Do you have the education employers will actually look for? For someone who struggles with writing, has no post-secondary education, and has never worked in the writing field, the outcome doesn't look very good, at least short-term. And because of this, it might be time to reconsider your goals. But if you're absolutely determined to make it happen despite the odds against you, start by making smaller, more attainable goals, like getting into a university or getting 5 articles published. The fourth letter in SMART is an R, which stands for relevant. It should be given that your goal is relevant to who you are and what you want. But sometimes people set goals because of what they think they should do. Now, this is totally wrong. They think that a particular goal would earn them respect or accomplish what other people think is expected of them. But if your goal isn't really relevant to your interests or passions, it's not going to be fulfilling, and all of the work that you put into achieving it is likely just to be a lot of stress with no reward at the end, and that's just painful. And if it isn't relevant to your individual skills and talents, it's going to be really difficult to get where you're aiming. For example, setting a goal to own a restaurant isn't going to be very relevant for someone who has a passion about science, especially since they were young and they want to move up into a medical career. Maybe they think owning a restaurant would be fun, or maybe that it would impress their friends, but it has absolutely nothing to do with their skill set, and they're already content with their career choice. So why pursue that goal? It's probably best to set that goal aside and find something else that is a better fit for your skills and something that you actually want to do. The last letter in SMART is a T, which stands for time-bound. Time is another element of your goal that should be defined, and very carefully. Without some kind of completion date in mind, your performance can suffer. You can easily put off all the steps you need in order to carry it out, telling yourself that there's always more time, until years and years have gone by and you're no closer to your goal. Deciding that you want to meet your goal within a certain time period helps drive you forward so that you'll eventually reach it on time. You'll see that deadline and be motivated to do what you actually need to do in order to meet it. But choosing a time limit isn't just enough. You have to choose it within reason. If you set a date too far out, and it may feel like you have tons of time, and that can lead to putting off work. And the same problem you might run into with no end date. A short time frame is often better, but it can also backfire if it's unrealistic. For example, setting a goal to own a house within a year when you don't even have a steady job is not likely to happen, and expecting yourself to pull it off could result in much more pressure and ultimately complete failure and all the negative feelings that come with it. The best thing to do, in my opinion, is to think of how many things you need to do to reach your goal and make a reasonable estimate of how long it'll take. As you work on creating more and more goals, you'll realize how long things actually take, and you'll get better at setting time values for them. Now, these 5 things are the steps to building a SMART goal, and they can be immensely helpful when you've got an achievement in mind. Defining your goals using this outline will help you determine exactly what you want, how you want to do it, and when you're going to accomplish it. It'll also help you get motivated, keep you on track, and force you to analyze the relevancy of your goals and how realistic it is for you. But let's move on to something else called stretch goals. There's another popular philosophy when it comes to goal setting stretch goals. When you set stretch goals, you intentionally choose to chase achievements that seem well beyond your reach. It seems to actually go against some of the points in SMART goals, but it has been backed up by research. Studies suggest that setting goals that are really high encourages better performance in the long run and can push you to become more innovative and creative in order to achieve them. One study in particular noticed that individuals with very high goals had to use their imagination to find more ways to solve the problem. Now, it might result in too much pressure for some people, but the general consensus is that aiming high is a good strategy for success. For me personally, I suggest keeping your long-term goals stretch goals, things that you don't ever think you can actually achieve, but you want to achieve them, and using SMART goals for things under 3 to 6 months. So how can we get the most out of our goal setting? Try merging the two strategies together to gain the benefits of both. Use the SMART outline to get the specifics of your goal so that you have a defined direction, measurable endpoint, and a time frame to complete your goal in. But as you're going through the points, ignore anything related to attainable and stretch your goals instead. Consider shortening your time limit or increasing the measurable aspect. You could also slightly alter the specifics of your goal to reach further. For example, instead of aiming to have an A average in school, aim to be at the top of your class. Your stretch goal might nearly sound impossible, but that's the idea. You don't want to limit yourself. It's supposed to push you to work extra hard and get creative so that you can accomplish larger things. Now, goals are not all created equal. Some are much more effectively constructed as others, and some are more difficult to achieve. Vagueness is a sign of a poorly thought out goal and could really hurt your progress in the long run. If you're truly dedicated to your dream, get a strong start by using the concepts of SMART goals and stretch goals. It's amazing what little direction and pressure can do for you. If you want a better idea of how to set goals, or you want to be a part of a community that is serious about self-growth, I've set up a private membership group called the Practical Growth Academy, where you will get tons of benefits for less than the price of a book each month. If you sign up with the link below, I'll personally send you a $20 Amazon gift card and basically pay you to try the first month for free. Because I have so much faith that this will be beneficial to you. Each week, you'll get an animated book summary along with an actionable worksheet so that you can turn those ideas in the books into action. And you'll also get to ask me personalized questions, and I'll do a weekly live stream answering them. Plus, each month, I'm going to put together a mini course so you can learn 80% of a topic in 20% of the time. So check out the discount code in the description and sign up to claim your $20 gift card before I pull the bonus away. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you learned something.